Hi everyone, thanks for taking the time to come and join us in the very first of the MindShares video series on YouTube. And what's really amazing about this first one is I've been really lucky enough to get a very special MindStore person or member, like we used to call them. Over the years, as you know, I've taught this course all over the world actually, and I keep saying it, over 500,000 people. And in the process of doing that, people come and repeat, they get me into their businesses and so on and so forth. And I build pretty special relationships. And when I see people in the audience who come back repeating, it's always really heartwarming. So I develop, if you like, a fondness. But our guest today, who's the first person in the series, I'm genuinely fond of. In fact, I go as far as to say I kind of love the guy. When he shows up in a room, and he did that recently in Glasgow, and he first did it a way back, goodness knows, we'll find out because he'll probably remember better than me. But when he's in the audience, it just lightens up the room, and it's a real pleasure. So, but for all of you who don't, excuse me, forgive me, for all of you who don't know Eamon Regan, it's my pleasure to introduce you to him now. Eamon, thank you for doing this. I'm sure everyone's going to be delighted.
Thanks for asking me, Jack. I think you've exaggerated the introduction there. And as
No.
regards me remembering too much, uh,
Well, see
yeah,
if I can help you.
yeah, sure.
When did we first come across one another? Can you remember where that was or what that was?
I, I approached you for help with my business, with our business, with Margaret and I's business,
Yes.
and invited you over to the centre of the universe, to
Yes.
Margate.
Yeah.
And it was through that, and your very practical help and support at that stage.
Yeah.
And I know it's a word that you don't like, woo woo, but you introduced us to what was the Maherfeld version of woo woo, and it
Yes.
worked for us.
Yeah. But did you come to a course before that? I remember coming over there to work with your people.
I don't think so.
Oh
Or
wow.
no, was it? No, we must have done. We must have done. Yeah,
Yeah.
must have
I
done.
mean, I don't know if it was before. I'm reckoning it's before it, maybe after it. I remember you showing up with Margaret at a course I did in Edinburgh in a kind of boutique hotel.
Yes, yeah,
Was that
yeah.
before or after you think I
I
came over?
think it was after.
Was it after?
Yeah, I
Okay.
think it was after.
I remember particularly that course that I did for you with your company, and one of your staff came out to see me and
Yeah,
talking to me about her daughter who was fairly well on at the time. I think she was 12 years old or something, was wetting the bed or something.
yeah,
And I advised her to use middle of the night programming to
yeah.
get her daughter out of that pattern. And she got in touch, I think, 3 or 4 days later and said that it worked. I always remember that. And I've shared that with a lot of people, especially
Yeah,
mothers, who've
yeah,
asked me that kind of question about
sure.
children. But I suppose the big thing for people is why why did you bring me into the business and what kind of outcomes did you get, Amy? What did you notice? Or were you glad you did it?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
It introduced us to a whole different way of thinking about bread and butter stuff,
Yeah.
of how and the uh, I suppose it brought an element of joy into the company as well.
Wow.
You know that it wasn't a hard sell; it was a thing. And how was your day?
Yeah.
A genuine interest in a customer, not as a customer, but more than a customer.
Yeah. Yeah. And
And I have to tell you as well, I'm the guest here, sure, but Margaret was there. She was the brain.
yeah. Um, Before we briefly talk about Margaret, could you tell the audience what your business at that time was,
Oh
what
yeah,
you were
yeah.
doing?
Well, both of us were teachers originally.
Wow. I didn't know
Right?
that, woman.
Oh, sorry, right? Yeah, yeah. Margaret had qualified. She had gone through the School of Music in Edinburgh,
Wow.
and she had the misfortune of meeting me, and it worked really well. And came over. That was in 74 we married.
Yes.
And Margaret came over to Maherfeld and she got a job in the local grammar school.
Right.
So she taught there for 3 or 4 years and we couldn't have family. and so we were fairly secure. We could take
Yes.
risks, and I always wanted to have a business of some description. And we did, first of all, a DIY store. And
Right.
then we discovered that Margaret had a great, she was an art trained as well.
Yes.
So she was into art. There was an opportunity for a tile. There wasn't a tile source around us. So we went into the tile business. And
Wow.
it worked really well.
Amazing. Amazing. And so, yeah, and she was obviously very good at running the business with you.
Yeah.
The thing about that, of course, if trained in music and an artist, the left and right brain thing, running a business, right?
Absolutely.
Perfect.
Absolutely.
A genius at work, yeah.
Yeah.
But then that brings us to the sadness of what
Oh,
happened.
losing her. Well, yeah, that's yeah.
Do you feel you can say a wee bit about that for people?
Oh, absolutely. The one thing that we didn't touch on there was Margaret's music. And she was just new into a small town. What could help Margaret to settle? Oh, a wee choir.
Right.
So we started a choir. We married June of 74.
Right.
June of 74. And in January 74, we made a decision. What about a choir? So we started a choir in January 75.
Wow.
Now, obviously, because of the work, Margaret had to leave the choir, but we passed it on to other people. And this January, they are celebrating their 50th anniversary, 50th anniversary. And I'm back in the choir.
Oh,
Great. That's a very bad second tenor. It was
yes.
great, really great.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, so Margaret was very talented. The business did really, really well. We were on top of the world. Things were going fantastic. We were getting ready to go on holiday. Christmas, a lump on her breast.
Wow.
Diagnosed in December.
Yeah.
And died in September 97. Age 48.
My goodness. And I remember how vibrant she was. And
oh, amazing.
Extraordinary,
amazing.
really.
Amazing.
Yeah. You know, it's things like having a kind of relationship with Margaret and yourself back then when you would come and, like you came to Edinburgh, for example.
Yeah.
And then knowing that's going on and likewise with other people. It's why I'm so passionate about helping people with cancer, you know, looking at why I'm involved in Stuttgart and, you know, MindStore.
Yeah.
Alternatives approach. I'm very interested in it to this day, fascinated by what's going on in, for example, the keto world with cancer, in particular bone cancer. Quite amazing. So, yeah, but it was a tough time for you. And how?
It was.
How did you? You kept going. You never buckled, you know.
I was at a boarding school as a kid.
Right.
So that makes you slightly resilient.
Yeah.
Margaret might have said colder, right? Emotionally, whatever way, you know. So that helped me. And MindStore helped me.
Oh, did it?
Oh, it did. Because again, there was the joy, you know, looking for the joy, inviting in coincidence and stuff, light stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, it did help.
That's
amazing.
What was wonderful for me was I didn't lose you. You kept coming to courses. You must have. I mean, how many courses have you done? Have you any idea?
Oh, I've no idea.
You've probably done more than I thought.
It's like a reinforcement.
Yes.
It's like going to the river.
Yes. And you came over to Glasgow at the start of the summer when I was introducing some new stuff.
That was good, yeah.
That was just, again, just to see you walk into the room was amazing for me. And you were at the Dublin thing I did a few months before that.
Yeah. But no, that's good. But I don't know whether I've ever told you this before, but there is I have one concrete example of how your operation is successful, because whenever Margaret died, and I was crying out for stuff, you know.
Yeah.
And for some reason or other, I wanted animals to work with animals. Right, I packed up the business. I stuck it a year. I
Yeah.
couldn't handle it. Couldn't handle it.
Mm.
But for some reason, and I'm blaming you for it, Anna, I'd always had a dog and stuff. I would like some animals.
Right.
So we have 3 acres, and it was I getting a bit hard to look after. So I split it into two
Right.
and put animals into it. And then I got help. A good friend got me, you know. So we had a llama, sika deer,
Wow.
geese, hens, goats, the works, right?
My goodness.
And that was really, now I don't know where it came from, but you're to blame,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And that was really good for my bereavement,
Yes. I can
working
imagine.
out stuff. And I
Yeah.
have to say, Margaret was Presbyterian, Church of Scotland. I
Yes.
was Catholic.
Yes.
I got unbelievable help
Yeah.
from the Presbyterian minister over here after
That's
my
lovely.
bereavement.
That's lovely.
Amazing.
Yeah.
They were
Great.
amazing. Never, no, yeah, that's fantastic.
That's wonderful.
But anyway, back to my animal story. Because my background was in special ed, learning the kids with learning difficulties.
Yes.
In my thinking, in my meditation, in the stuff, this would really be good for young adults with learning difficulties.
Yeah.
So 3 years ago, I passed it on to a charity,
Oh, nice.
and they are working it now as we speak. They'll be finishing at 4 o'clock, whatever it is.
Yeah.
I still are able to go in whenever,
Lovely.
but they are there. And it's done by the charity in association with the health board.
Right.
So there are 9 young adults with learning difficulties come in the morning,
Yeah.
and another 9 come in the afternoon, 5 days a week. And it is, and you have to take credit for it. MindStore. It really is the power behind it. Yeah,
Yeah.
brilliant.
And the kids respond to that, or these young
Oh,
people,
absolutely.
whatever. Yeah.
They work, they feed, they clean, they keep the place looking. You know, it's an acre and a half. It's lovely. It's great.
Yeah. I know that
Sorry.
over the years, I've had people, farmers and people like that, who've come through the courses, and I've gone to places up in the Scotland Highlands and stuff. And a great guy came through for a long time, wrote amazing books about horses, kind of horse whisperer guy. And others who worked with people with learning difficulties and youngsters, that somehow or other the animals teach the kids. Did you notice that?
I'm not there.
But when you were there, did
No, there's no kids coming at that stage because
Oh, I see.
health,
Right. It gives you an
and
idea
safety,
now.
and all that is,
Got you. Got you.
you know. But yes, all those things.
Yes, of course. I remember famously one of them explaining to me, a great farmer, that she had a youngster. I'm going to guess it was. I know it was a young girl, but I'm going to say 6 or 7 years old, who was on a bare-backed horse and was kind of going over to the side, with the balance, and the horse went up alongside the fence so she could use,
Amazing.
to get herself back in balance. And
Amazing.
that's that sort of stuff. It's just amazing, the connection, and almost like the animals have got an awareness that this is a special
Without
young
a-
person that needs
Without a doubt.
special attention.
I have a friend whose sister does counselling
Wow.
for disturbed people, but
Yeah.
counselling through the source of exactly what you're saying, of the animal, the horse.
Amazing.
Oh, great.
Aye. Fantastic. Fantastic.
Yeah.
So is there anything specific you can remember about coming out of or going through your grieving where your MindStore was helpful? I'm just thinking of people watching this because one of the things about MindStore, a lot of people, as you know, come and you hear the stories and they meet people who are incredibly successful. You know, I've
Yeah,
worked with
yeah,
people from a standing start who are literally now billionaires, to be honest.
yes, yes,
But other people, they come there maybe with hopes and aspirations, and then they meet adversity like you did.
yes, yeah.
Meet it. Sometimes, I say it to an audience, sometimes it can happen within about 3 weeks sometimes, that someone's going to come up against it and it gets them through.
Mhm.
Is there any, because people watching this, well, some of them will be going through adversity, or family or friends will, but
Sure, sure.
any specific tools or techniques, Eamon, that you might recommend, or anything generally that you found helpful?
It's just sitting with that, with the meditation
Yeah,
and the bit, all will be okay.
yeah, yeah,
It's okay.
yeah, yeah. Just knowing it's going to be okay.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Now, it's, I've used other things along with
Oh,
MindStore,
of
but
course.
it's almost like the thing that you always go back to,
Yes. Yes.
right?
Yeah.
I do a bit of Tai Chi,
Good.
right? Which I've found very, like, just peace of mind we're talking about,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I also enjoy uh, reflexology,
Yeah. Yeah.
sacrocranial,
Yeah. Yeah.
all and actually, that's the thing I wanted to talk to you about. Music,
Yeah. Yeah.
music, but it doesn't feature in any of the MindStore programs.
Yes. Yes.
I'm not getting at you, brother. I'm not getting at you.
No, I do what I can during the breaks to play music. I think it's going to work at some level. I mean, used to, as you remember, we at the beginning we had an actual musical sound that we did
Uh-huh.
application to, and I took that away because some people felt they could only do it if they had the background of the musical
Yeah, 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 yeah.
sound. But you know, you're right, and I think probably because I'm not that musical is
Cancel
possibly
that.
possibly
Cancel that. Cancel
possibly
that.
that's why that's the case. But I think all of us know that music can move us very, very
Oh,
quickly.
energy,
Amazing,
energy.
amazing.
Like as we're speaking,
Yeah,
I have music running,
nice.
solfeggio.
Okay,
My sacrocranial lady advised me to look at solfeggio,
right.
and it's, well, whatever. As again, it's about the horse whisperer thing,
Yes,
the
yeah,
vibration
yeah.
that
So
that's not here.
no,
It's not here.
yeah,
It's in your heart, in your
yeah,
stomach.
yes, yeah. And how would you spell that name so that people
S
find
S
it?
O S O L Feggio.
Can you say it again just once more for people?
Solfeggio.
Right.
S for Sammy. OLFEGGIO.
Yes. Yeah. Fantastic. It's amazing how Irish people often, especially Northern Irish people like yourself, they know this guy called Sammy. Who is this guy called Sammy? It keeps showing up.
Or Sammy. Or wee Sammy.
Wee Sammy or Big Sammy or anyway. Um, so apart from MindStore, you've mentioned that you're quite rightly mentioning it. Well, two things there. That a lot of us we merge MindStore with other things.
Yes, yes,
It
yes.
just makes sense. Or a lot of people might. I used to work with a lot of people who've done transcendental meditation, for example, and
Yes, yeah.
use the MindStore techniques to get on the landscape, and then in the landscape
Mm-hmm.
they go to spit, and then they do their,
Mm-hmm.
their transcendental meditation, repeating
Yeah.
their mantra, and then they would then continue to do stuff and so on. Um, so the so using other stuff is obviously helpful. Um, is there anything else that when you think back over the years? I should have asked you this right at the beginning. I don't think people will mind me asking you this. What age are you now anyway?
Oh, that's an awful thing to say. And we've been such good friends. Well, let me tell you, 50 wasn't too bad. I was still a kid.
Yes, same here.
60, good God, my father died when he was 70. So 70, I've come through okay. But I was 80 in January,
My God.
and that's went back to Jack Black, the challenge. He'll sort me out. It's a challenge, yeah, it's a challenge.
Yes.
You
Wow.
know that, you know it is. The big one was getting on a bus, the tram, getting on the Dart in Dublin,
Yes.
and this beautiful young girl gets up for me to give me her seat. What? Sorry, is it me? A seat? Are you, are you kidding me? All those people giving you a seat, yeah.
Yeah.
And you know the way that it's marked on the buses of where the people, oh, I suppose I should sit there, even though I don't want to.
I know, I know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
80, 80.
Yeah. Get on trains and occasionally buses doing the same thing. I find I'm getting up to get the young lady on or the pregnant lady on or the older lady on and
Yes, yes,
not thinking I'm one of them. So I'm about to, when at the start of next year, in April, I'll jump into the 70s.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So that's going to be interesting. I remember doing the course in Dublin, and one of the great MindStore members that would come back and forward from, he had a home in Spain. Him and his wife were, like yourself, would always come to courses. And he said to me, I'm 62 now, and I just want to warn you, Jack, when you get to 60, that the moment you get to 60, you disappear.
That's right. That's
And I
correct.
forgot the way they said, people just don't notice you any longer. You don't
Correct.
exist.
Correct. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's kind of true. It's kind of
It's
true.
absolutely true.
If you don't put out an energy to attract attention, not in a kind of, but just to be aware of your presence, like have your aura and just let it people feel it,
Yeah.
you're not going to get noticed, and I used to be one because I speak, I'm still speaking for in the public now. You know, I've got a big energy for that, but it'd be
Yeah.
amazing even just going to local meetings, and I attempted to speak up and just don't even acknowledge your hands up.
Mm.
Um, that's
But could I could,
fascinating.
could could
It's
I ask you
fascinating about
something there?
ageism, isn't it?
Could I ask you something there?
Yes.
Your phenomenal energy
Right.
at your age.
Yes.
Have you anything that you can share? Because that's a big challenge for me.
Yeah. Yeah. This will be the same for everyone else, I suspect. Look, I think the most important thing is inputs because outputs come from inputs.
Mm-hmm.
And as you
Mm-hmm.
know, what we've done with MindStore is we've attempted to manage inputs in our minds.
Mm-hmm.
Delete that program and all that basic
Yeah,
stuff,
yeah.
wearing bell jars, protective cells, all that basic stuff. And then having the confidence to delete programs when you're running little scenarios in your mind of things going wrong. And it's really
Sure.
important that we manage our self-talk, and I'm sure you appreciate that
Yeah, absolutely.
because so many people self-talk themselves out of things rather than
Yeah.
into things that they would want, and subsequently self-talk themselves into things they don't want, but they
Yeah.
keep thinking about them. So that still continues to be very, very important.
Yeah.
Obviously. Um, and but the one I'm passionate about now, as I'm sure you know, is food and drink. What are people drinking enough water?
Mm-hmm.
What about the quality of water they're drinking? Where are they getting it from?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe put some Celtic salt in it. Maybe a squeeze of lemon juice or something to make it more
Yeah.
balanced.
Yeah.
And drink. Make sure you're drinking enough water. Don't overdo it. Just sip it from time to time. Everybody's got their own, I suppose, their own balance for water. You can overdo
Sure.
it. You can underdo it. It's just watching that. I
So
think. I think also.
would you use filtered water at
Well,
home?
I tend to use just one of those those very simple jugs you get in the supermarket where you put in.
Okay.
I don't go any fancy
Right,
stuff,
okay.
but at least I'll do that anyway.
Yeah.
Um, but the the other thing about the water thing is is to realize that we're mostly water, you know, in our beings.
Yes.
So if someone's beginning to find themselves, since we're talking about aging, find themselves aging in a given area,
Yeah.
where they see little niggles and stuff,
Yeah.
is to
Absolutely.
imagine the water going straight there and flushing out the toxins or
Yes.
the inflammation.
Yeah.
So there's that conscious drinking of water, which is pretty important.
Mhm.
I think the other thing, obviously, is maybe not drinking any liquids after 6 o'clock at night,
Okay.
and not drinking anything that's not room temperature, not any cold
Right.
drinks, not ice
Oh.
drinks, because what that does is it tends to affect the quality of your sleep.
Right.
And for some people, the number of times they may wake in the night for a pee.
Yes. Yeah.
So that I've noticed that to be very important in terms of energy.
Mhm.
I think the other thing, obviously, is understanding what foods work for you and what foods don't work. We're all different. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I've been pushing keto for about 8 years, 9 years now, only because the evidence I see around the world is just you can't ignore it. You may
Okay.
ignore it, but you can't look at it and say, "Oh, that's rubbish," because it's just scientifically backed up. So I think people who choose a keto type lifestyle, or if they don't use a keto lifestyle, then at least whole food lifestyle,
Mhm.
no processed foods, no processed seed oils, no processed sugars, um, buying proper food like your
Yeah.
mother
Yeah.
did and
Yeah.
your grandmother did,
Yeah.
and increasingly men as well. Your grandfather, when they were cooking, it was brand new stuff,
Right.
nothing out of a tin, nothing out of a packet. Um, and I think when you get older, that becomes really, really important.
Yeah. Okay.
So that you're drawing on. But I found the thing that I didn't appreciate, and people talk about it, Eamon, is mind fog, where they're losing their kind of motivation or their drive, and
Mhm.
their thinking's becoming dull. They're beginning
Mhm.
to self-talk them into
Yeah.
depression. And before I did keto thing, I didn't know that existed, because you don't notice it happening to you,
Mhm.
because it's a very gradual process,
Mhm.
very subtle,
Sneaky.
sneaks
Sneaky.
along. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Then I go keto, and within about 8 days, right as a button. You go, well, it's like someone turned a switch on. I couldn't believe the difference in the quality of thinking. And ever
Mhm.
since then, people who have kind of trusted me and had a look at it, I'm getting the feedback. Even today, I got a guy, or yesterday, a guy I had a chat with. He got in touch with me because he was troubled with irritable bowel syndrome, really troubled with it, and he was having major challenges, not being on the loo all day.
Yeah.
And I said to him, it's probably because you're eating fiber, and he's looking, because we're on a call like this, and he's looking
Uh-huh.
at fiber. I said, well, yeah, that's a big myth. Take the fiber out. Why don't you ever go at keto, or even better, go carnivore for about a month? Tell me how you got on. It's all gone,
Yeah.
all gone. But he knows if he relaxes the discipline, he's pooing again all day long.
Right.
So if you're pooing all day long and peeing all day long, then that's draining energy out of you as
Oh
well.
yeah, yeah. Oh, oh.
So I'm big on that. I mean, I think if I was back to the beginning, when you were coming at the beginning, if we could all go back, I would be doing MindStore, and MindStore would include more of the music, definitely,
Yeah.
but specifically more of the music for reasons. I would introduce art,
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
and the other stuff that I'm
Absolutely.
doing would be this. We didn't know about it so much back then, but now definitely what I know about food and what I know about the lies that's out there that's killing.
Hmm.
Um, so
So
yeah,
you would advise because fog can identify it's happening to me.
yep,
So
yep,
go keto.
yep. Oh, definitely.
Okay.
Or I would say to you, do you eat meat? Or because you've had the
I
animal?
eat meat, yeah. Eat
Good man.
meat.
Well, look, if I were you, I would go steak, eggs. If you can handle dairy products, some dairy product, but not pasteurized dairy. Go and get cheeses that are non-pasteurized.
Okay, right.
like Gruyere or Comte from Australia, from
Right.
France. There's some great English ones as well. Just go in supermarket, look for like non-pasteurized or
Yeah.
raw cow's milk,
Okay.
goat's milk. I think if you
Is there such a thing as non-pasteurized Guinness that you could help me with? Or tell me
well,
how do I cope?
funnily enough, one of my sins is occasionally. In fact, I noticed the day I was in the supermarket, and I always go to I now go to the non-alcoholic section
Oh,
to see what's available. And one of the things I do love without doubt is Guinness 00. It's just an amazing drink. I don't drink as much alcohol as I used to, and I don't drink a lot of beer, but maybe once a week I'll treat myself. And it is a treat. So yeah, Guinness is still up there for me. And
and what
whenever
about spirits? What about spirits?
I occasionally will have a whiskey.
Okay.
I used to prefer malts, Scottish malts, but I've kind
Oh,
of got into over the years,
getting
um,
heavy.
kind of American whiskies, bourbon.
Right.
Occasionally have a bourbon.
And
I,
you know that they talk about the clear that you're better drinking
of course,
vodka or
indeed, you're
gin.
absolutely right. And
That's
gin,
right.
but when I say I'd be having one a month. It's not like every night or something.
I'm sorry I started this conversation.
But listen, if it
Because
gets you to
and the perfect friendship, Jack Black.
if it gets you
Good
to
night. Goodbye.
if it
Ah,
gets you to 80, then it's fantastic. I mean, I suppose if you and I were doing this for real, and then we could pop down to one of the pubs nearby, I would have a few Guinnesses with
right.
you,
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
even a whiskey, an Irish one
Yeah.
particularly.
Right. So ease up on all things alcohol.
I ease up on the alcohol. I've eased up on anything to do with processed grains.
Okay.
I've mentioned it before. I used to be a vegetarian, and I went 12 years of vegan vegetarian, but I wasn't. I was a grainarian. Everything I
Right.
ate had grains in it,
So
or
is
or I
porridge a thing of the past?
wouldn't
Goodness.
wouldn't touch it with a barge pole.
Goodness.
No, and certainly not fruit. I wouldn't eat. I don't go near fruit. And I mean that's not true. I've had at this time of year. I might have an apple twice over the
Okay.
course of the autumn.
Goodness.
Don't get near any of this stuff. No fruit, especially imported fruit. I live in Kent now, but I come from Scotland. My body isn't anyway used, going through the generations. We're not used to eating bananas or
Okay.
grapes, even the fruit that we would eat naturally in these climates
Yeah, yeah,
would be raspberries when they're available,
yeah.
kind of stuff on the trees.
Yeah,
But
yeah, yeah,
but they wouldn't be sweet. They would be reasonable to eat, but they weren't super
yeah,
sweet like they are now,
yeah,
engineered.
yeah, yeah.
Apples would be okay, but they wouldn't be like super sweet like they've been engineered.
Right. Is that all part of the keto philosophy? Is it?
Yes, it's
Okay,
staying
gotcha.
well away from
Gotcha.
any
Brilliant.
getting your carbohydrate down to about 20 grams, maximum 30 grams a day. So that doesn't allow for quite for much, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
But if you go pure
Mm-hmm.
keto, what I'm going to do is tomorrow on Facebook, but I'll send you a link separate because I know you don't do the Facebook thing. Tomorrow I'm going to give a link to people to a video that's available on YouTube right now, which is a precursor to a documentary that's been done on the
Okay.
carnivore diet, and it's just outstanding. And you'll see a woman on there giving the age thing. She's 83. She works on a farm. You see the muscles in the woman. And for I think it's 50 years she's been carnivore. She just looks like a young thing. Unbelievable. Then you see another woman. I won't take it away from it, but the stories are extraordinary. You'll see all these doctors.
But you've just brought something up there.
Yeah.
What is the best way to make use of what you provide? What is it? Are we better doing Facebook with you, or or what do I tell my friends to look at?
Well, I think I'd certainly encourage your friends to go and watch this once it's posted on the Jack Black MindStore YouTube channel. and we'll
Try, I show you. Is that the YouTube? You see, I'm
that's okay.
lost.
So
No, but I want to.
no, exactly. So
So
YouTube,
it's a YouTube channel I have to get into.
it's called, well, there's lots of different ones, but mine is Jack Black MindStore.
Right, okay, I'll get it.
There, this will go up, and then I've got others lined up, and we'll start to fill it up.
And do you do that on a regular basis?
I'm going to be doing it fairly regularly. I've got quite a number of people who have agreed to do it. It's just to get them dated.
Okay.
I've got already lined up the person who's going to do the next one. She's the one that I originally done.
Yeah.
Didn't happen.
Didn't go through, yeah.
Doesn't record it. She's extraordinary. She's an amazing author. A Glasgow girl, just from, well, west of Scotland.
Because frankly, I need something like that. Everyone does, to keep inspired. If you feel you're on your Todd, it's not easy.
No. So what I'm doing in this regard is, for the last, I think, I don't know, for about 6 months now, I've been going on Facebook in the mornings. I've got 2 Facebook pages. I've got Jack MindStore. If you look that up, follow that, or request to be my friend. I'll certainly do that. Or MindStore Online.
Okay.
Is another one on Facebook. And but Jack MindStore is probably the easiest one to find.
Okay.
So what I've been doing is I've been telling mind stories, as I called them for a while, just stories about the history of MindStore, kind of entertaining. People quite like them. I get lots of likes and stuff like that and comments. But what I've been doing over the last few weeks is I've started to do a thought for the day every morning.
Excellent.
So
Right, yeah.
Subtly teaching MindStore, subtly saying things. And man, I got an email just before I came on today to record this, someone saying how much they're enjoying them. So they seem to be helping people. So I'm doing that. And yeah, the other thing is, as you probably know, because you came to Glasgow, I did that. Well, you did the Glasgow thing, and I'm doing it again next week in Glasgow. Hopefully I'll do one in London soon. I did an online version of that, which culminated in what we called Workshop 3. Now, I don't know if you got on Workshop 3. Did you do that?
No, I didn't do that. Yeah.
But yeah, I think you would have loved that, because that was art.
Yeah.
That was the first time I used art in MindStore.
Brilliant.
And the results of that have been just staggering. But also, it really used the new toolkit that you got in Workshop, the Glasgow thing.
Yeah.
The fifth element to the media room that I'm not going to mention if people don't know yet, so they get it when they get it. But using that and using emotions and then really working deep with your coaches and then painting. The results are stunning. And what they've done is they've accelerated people's manifestation.
Yeah.
So I'm hopefully going to do that again. And if I do that again, it'd be good to know that you take the risk. I think you would enjoy that. But I think going back to your original question just briefly is, there's quite a lot of support that way that I'm providing. I've struggled forever with finally giving in and doing an full online MindStore course. All the courses, one after the other, make them available. Primarily because the platforms keep changing. You think, right, and then they change it, and then So anyway, I'm at the point though that I need to do it, and I do have plans. My corporate work is literally at a crossroads, because I've been working with companies for a while, and one particular company globally, and that contract's coming to an end this month.
Okay.
After about 4 or 5 years of work with them. There is a potential for doing some more work corporately, but if that doesn't happen, then, and I'm just going to use that as a signal. If that doesn't happen, I'll accept it. I'll still continue to provide resources like these interviews and the Facebook thing and YouTube interviews for people, and still attempt to do charity. I mean, every public course I'm going to do going forward will always go to a charity. I won't take any.
Great.
So that's what we're looking at. Charities will just host them. Yeah. And we're maybe making progress in London shortly. It'd be great to come to Dublin and do it, but we've not found a charity yet. But what happened to me during, I think you know, because you're at Glasgow, I've returned to my faith, Eamon,
Yes.
and that's been quite profound. And that
Funny.
happened.
Sorry, I'm glad you mentioned that because I thought it was too sensitive to mention. No, no, I'm serious. But
Uh,
well, you remember where I live.
of
Remember
course.
where I live.
Well,
But
I'm from Glasgow, and it's quite sensitive there as well.
well, of course. But the one thing when I came back from the course, I said, Jack actually talked about spirit.
Yeah,
Never ever have I heard him say it, and I found it very comforting.
good man, good man.
Very, very comforting.
Well, so here's what's happening with that. Now, the audience, I hope, won't mind me sharing this. So during the summer, the parish that I go to here,
Yeah.
there's three priests connected, but two that work there full time. They were going on their holidays and going to conferences and stuff that
Mhm.
they do in the summer. So an African priest came up from Ghana to fill
Right.
in, to be the spare guy,
Right.
and I befriended him. They went for a few pints,
Yeah.
took him
Yeah.
for a drive along Whitstable Bay, and we walked about and stuff, and became really good friends, and we've kept in touch. And what's come out of that is, if I don't get the sign off to continue with corporate, I'm going to move into Catholicism with MindStore.
Ah, not too sure, but
I know that, but I'm going to, well, in the sense that I'm going to teach people to use, people who are not an audience I've got at the moment, and he's supporting me, this priest supporting me with the spiritual side of it.
yeah, yeah.
I'm going to develop, I'm already developing tools for it.
But
To
is
help.
that not labeling it slightly?
Well, the MindStore people will still have me as MindStore. They won't necessarily know I'm doing this work. This is going to go to
Okay.
just into the Catholic circle
Okay.
or the general Christian circle.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
And
whatever.
so, yeah, I've had interesting conversations with priests and stuff about, because if you look at Catholicism generally, they don't like stuff like um, yoga, for example.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
They're very concerned
Mhm.
about stuff that might be perceived to be of a vibration or resonance. It's not truly
Mhm.
pure.
Mhm.
And so when I was, I've been teaching this stuff forever.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So you sit with a priest, and I took the parish priest for lunch, and I said, I need to tell you what I do, and I need to find out if it's okay.
Yeah,
But he was uh, brilliantly supportive
yeah,
about all of it, and it's just through these conversations, I think, well, I can add value to the church.
yeah,
And I mean the widest church, but obviously it's easy for me in Catholicism. But that people won't necessarily know I'm doing that. That's only going to happen within the Christian community.
yeah,
But
yeah.
but MindStore will still continue.
Okay,
But
just on that a similar vein, could I ask you to check up on a guy called John Feehan? He's an ecologist,
right,
was a Catholic priest or
right,
whatever,
right.
big into ecology, as uh the whole Christian thing is now.
Yes,
And
yeah,
he's an amazing man.
brilliant. How do you spell his name?
John Feehan, Feehan. I'll get you
Right,
some information on him.
Egan.
Amazing man.
Good. I'll have a look. I'll have a look.
Mhm.
So anyway, that's where I'm at this crossroads. I mean,
Great.
I can't deny that a white feather fell from the sky in front of me last October.
You know that,
I had no idea what it was, and then I
That's
realised what it was. I went,
great.
and I've just had an extraordinary year.
That's
If you'd
lovely.
said to me when I was going to be working in Thailand, as I did a while ago with a client, or I'd be going to America on holiday, and the first thing I would do is find out where's Mass
Yeah, yeah.
and actually go to Mass
Aye.
when I'm on holiday and or working for a client in Thailand. I
Yeah.
just said, get off your head. But there you go.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
You're
but
you're going one way and I'm going the other. That's so all more reason to link up again. That's
aye,
great.
aye. Well,
Great.
maybe I'll get you back.
Oh no, 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 no. No, I'm going forward.
Well,
Okay.
Yes, yes, yes. So
Yeah.
anyway,
I think we should talk about that over 2 pints of Guinness.
at least and
Not,
and a few whiskies.
not the full quality gear,
Yes,
but
yes,
we'll not tell anybody.
yes, yes. So, so what
Yeah,
else
so
are you
that
doing?
I
What else do you do with your time, Eamon, now that you're a young man at 80?
wait, what do I do with my time at present, right? Well, I go to the choir one night a week,
Yep.
one evening a week. I have the guys that I was in college with. We started to meet in when we're 50 years old. The group, we're 50 years old this year, next year as well, and we keep of a sort of mailing group. You love the name. The place that the college that we went to was in Armagh. It was called Sandy Hill was the place.
Right.
So we're now known as Sandy Hill Seniles. So and so and we're enjoying it. Yeah, yeah.
You're
It's really
having a
good.
good time.
Yeah, we had a special gathering for my 80th.
Yes.
We had 80 people at it.
My goodness.
All of the vintage, all of it. Like maybe 5 of them have died since.
Oh, that's it.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's crazy. But that's it. I work with it. What else do I have? Well, the garden. I work a lot of work on the garden.
Aye.
Yeah.
You've got some interesting stuff behind you, though. You're obviously interested in art.
Yeah.
So do
I
you dabble in art yourself, or you
no, I
buy
couldn't
stuff?
draw a straight line.
Yeah, neither can
I
I.
admired what Margaret had.
Yes, yes.
That gift. And we met a very interesting guy, unfortunately dead as well, called Laurie Williamson from the
Right.
north of England. And we
Yes.
bought a bit of his stuff. And I just love art.
Yeah.
Love art.
Yeah, I've got into art in my office here. From time to time, it turns into an art studio, and I've been messing about with, and I would encourage everyone. I've been messing about with abstract art,
Oh,
especially at deep in an alpha state, and working with your inner coaches and letting
mm,
them paint for you. It's quite amazing. And then looking at other art and being inspired by it. I was in went on holiday there recently, spent a week in France, but before that we went to Italy.
yeah.
In my sort of return to Catholicism, I wanted to go and see the Padre Pio thing,
Right.
see his body, and it was amazing to see that. And then another thing was the Archangel Michael thing. It was pretty amazing. And then what I did was we went to Rome and
Right.
did the Rome thing, just
Yeah.
walking about the city doing the tourist thing. But I kind of every time a big basilica came along, there's just like seems to be hundreds of the things. You go in, the artwork was just unbelievable. Not just religious artwork, just artwork generally. Just so inspiring. Got loads of ideas. And so I think, as the winter comes, I'll be painting quite a lot.
Right. Where do you call home?
It's just outside Canterbury in Kent.
Okay. And have they do you gel with it or do you feel it's home?
It's funny. It's the place I've lived the longest
Mhm.
after I left my family home at, 20 years old, whatever it was. It's the longest I've lived anywhere,
Mhm.
but I still not settled. Still got when we were over in France with Big Klaus and Sabina, people who know Klaus, got interviewed
Yeah.
him in the YouTube thing, but Klaus runs the clinic in Germany and he teaches
Right.
MindStore in Germany. Brilliant guy. We went and spent a week at their cottage in the village we used to live in France. And
Right.
you go back there and you're thinking, oh yeah, let's just go and retire here because it's beautiful. But the Brexit things made that not so easy.
Big one.
And we lived there before Brexit. It was easy to live there. It just was simple, but now it's very complicated if you're not, if
Yeah.
you're not European. Although I never voted for that stuff.
Yeah.
I know
Yeah.
people did.
Yeah. It's terrible stuff. Yeah.
Not my cup of tea.
No, I asked the question deliberately because I've never left Marfelt.
Never.
Never. I've always lived here. And, my father worked on the railway here.
Aye.
You know, and actually, Seamus Duffy's wife, a guy I was at school with, one of my group,
Yeah.
she wrote a poem called "Bloom Where You're Planted."
Yes. Yes. See,
And I have been very lucky, you know, that I've stayed here and I love living here.
yeah.
And we're okay. I'm inspired to go on a Camino walk or something like that, whatever it is. But I love coming home.
Aye. Aye. You know, it's interesting. The Christians among us watching this, you know, my wife Laura is an astrologer and very,
Oh,
very good at it.
oh, oh,
But
oh.
you know, you've got to keep your distance. And she would say that, you know, it's probably in your chart that you're the kind of person that's going to stay fixed,
Mhm.
what's called a fixed chart. And I'm got a different kind of
Right, okay, fine.
and when I look at that stuff, it just makes sense. So I don't think this is our final home. We do enjoy living here on the
Yeah.
edge of countryside. It's beautiful. Canterbury's got everything in it.
But does that, knowing that, not make you restless?
No, no.
Wow.
It's just that it's quite exciting, but the right place hasn't shown up yet. There is
Mhm.
a kind of um next, you know, what do they call it? The first foot in the grave place or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Down in the south of England called Canford Cliffs, down near Bournemouth, down near Poole in the Poole Harbour area.
Right.
I particularly like it there, but that's where everybody goes to die, kind of thing.
I no, no, no,
So I
no.
don't know. It's kind of like, well, as soon
It's
as you
a
go,
be a signal, no.
it's the wrong,
Right.
but it is a beautiful place.
Uh-huh.
I do love the Isle of Wight. I could readily go there. Laura's less excited about that. I could go back to Isle of Arran in Scotland.
Yeah.
I'd love it. I love it there. But the weather,
Uh-huh. Yeah, all those things there. Yeah.
yeah, you get used to when we lived in the south of France for 7 years, just get used to bright light. And why we came back here was we did quite a lot of work. With astrologers as well as just common sense.
Yeah.
This was the best place to live for sunshine in
Yeah.
England. I mean, there's apart from uh, orchards out there, there's vineyards everywhere.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Just
Oh, it's
everywhere.
beautiful. Yeah.
I mean,
But
even
it's not about out there, it's about inside, isn't it? Being contented.
but see, if I go out in the morning, I'm getting bright sunlight getting into my
Oh,
eyes.
it's great.
And if you can go
Yeah.
out, and I say this to everyone, if you go out early in the morning, especially as the winter months come and the sky is really, the sun's low in the sky
Hmm.
because it's the winter months,
Yeah.
you can look into that. And if you need to blink, you get about 30 seconds to a minute, maybe 2 minutes of that level of vibration of light.
Yeah.
It's going to drive you through the rest of the day with vibrant energy, and it just works.
Hmm.
So you don't always get the same level of light in Scotland. The west of
Okay. Yes.
Scotland, dark. Here's
Hmm.
pitch
Same
dark.
here. Yeah. Dark, dark is the
Dark
dimmer.
by it's much brighter here, which is why ultimately I think we're living here.
Yeah.
Um, but anyway, but that's about resonance, about vibration, and
But everything is about resonance and vibration, isn't it?
exactly, absolutely everything, absolutely everything.
And it's to become, and again, you to get back to what is MindStore, the whole system, it makes you ask those questions.
Yep.
And that's why I think that your thought for the day is a good idea, because you'll throw in an odd one.
Yeah, I deliberately do little tricks to put wee plants in people's minds.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
They'll have a go at doing the techniques again and using them. Because the thing is,
Yeah,
everybody who comes onto them and people who watch this, unless they're absolute newbies, we all know this works. The thing is, it's making sure you do it.
correct. Absolutely,
And this is why
absolutely.
having chats with people like yourself, Eamon, is so helpful. It just people get sucked in again,
Yeah,
you know, and then they think, okay. Because one of the saddest things is when you see people who don't have any sense of future,
oh, it's awful.
nothing they're looking forward to, and they're beginning to get the effects of the chronic disease, and then they're on this tablet, and then that tablet, and then the next tablet, and they don't real.
That's
That's
awful.
the way it should be. When in fact that's just a big lie. And if
Mhm.
they actually change their lifestyle, that would all go away
Yeah,
relatively quickly. And there's tons of research now. And there was that little link I'll put on, and I'll send you the link.
yeah, yeah.
That particular that kind of work's going to change the world, you know.
But yeah, you need something to get up for in the morning.
You do.
Something that you love,
Yep.
or someone to love, or something to inspire love in it, you know.
And it's great you saying that, because I think what I'm stressing all the time just now is, what's your intention for today?
Yeah,
What is it you're looking
absolutely.
for? What is it you're looking for today? How can you, even this morning I said it, how can you show up being the best version of yourself? Not for you, but to be of service to others.
Yeah.
It's just expression of love and just being present in love.
You know, the greatest gift that I got possibly this year was someone said, Regan, as soon as you meet somebody and how's it going, you ask the question, how was your day?
Aye. Great.
Now, sometimes it does my head in because they give you the full. You've got to pull it down. Why did I do that? But I think it's amazing.
Aye.
And then the other one is, after he has talked for 10 minutes, he says, that's a great chat I had on the way though. two sentences contribution.
Yes. And that's the wonder of it, isn't it? When you engage somebody, you let them just go. And
oh, it's lovely.
Fantastic.
It's lovely. And that's again about the small town syndrome. You get that, that's lovely.
Aye.
Lovely.
And I've got to be honest, when you mentioned that about your group, the seniles, I'm envious of that, because I don't live where I grew up.
Yeah.
I've got friends there, but they never see me. And I'm going up to Glasgow next week, but there was no point in saying I'm coming, because they wouldn't probably come to my event anyway. They never have, or they wouldn't be able to get into Glasgow to meet me, and I've got a busy schedule, and I fly in and fly out.
It's funny you said that they never have come, right? No. The school that I went to was a seminary. You know, it was a junior seminary.
Wow.
They thought they were going to make priests out of it, right?
Yes.
And this group that I have for the last 50 years, we never had one priest came.
Wow.
Not one diocesan priest ever came to us. Sorry, I lied. There's one came. Right. So, you know, and that's, you find that very disappointing.
Of course it is. But I also find a lot of them are not very confident in themselves outside the confines of structure of the church.
That's a point, of course. That's a point, yeah.
No, but I'm quite lucky. The ones I've got here, if I take them for a lunch, they're going to come, and that African guy, he was happy to go for a pint and all that. It was just
because the older ones, those guys know us through and through. They see through everything. It's great.
And there's something bizarre about going to confession as a Catholic, and then you're going to go out with a guy. You're going, oh, wait a minute, he knows too much. Anyway, although he's not supposed to, but you think, well, you must recognise my accent. I'm not from Canterbury.
Could you do a job on me when I'm here?
That's right. There's that guy from Glasgow. You know what I mean? So, anything else? We're coming up to the end now. Anything you'd like to say to people? I mean, you've got amazing experience, life experience. Never mind.
Not really.
MindStore experience. But is there anything you'd like to say to anybody?
Oh, just keep taking the tablets. No, just what you have said to me. You know, invite coincidence.
Yes.
You know, those wee things. Oh shit! Look who I met today.
Aye.
You know, like an experience. Friday week ago, I was in a theatre in Dublin. I've gone early, went to the bar for a pint.
Yeah.
Lad, have you come far today, sir? I've come up north, you know, from my accent. Yeah. What part of the north are you from? I'm between Derry and Belfast. Yeah. Oh, my granny is from up that country. Yes. Oh, where from? Marrowfell. Oh my God. You know, here I am, the little boy lost in Dublin, and your man knows my granny. You know?
It's
Oh,
life's amazing, isn't it?
I think anything to say is there's a lot of good stuff out there, and it's just, those wee things, wee things.
Aye, the coincidences. And
Oh,
one,
amazing, amazing, and all those good people that are out there, and also the people who need how was your day.
yeah, yeah.
Some beautiful people, great.
Yeah, absolutely. And I guess what's going to happen now is the viewers are now going to go, oh, Jack, don't stop, keep going. Because we could go all day, but unfortunately, we only get this time of this same
But
thing.
look, I don't know why you asked me, but I know I enjoyed it. So if nobody else enjoyed it, tough. I had a great time. I had a great time. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks. Well, I think for people who are watching it now and who are maybe on the list to come on, the point is it's just a casual conversation.
Yeah.
We end up where we end up. But
Yeah.
fundamentally, I think you can, if you're watching this, you can see that MindStore's been an important part of Eamon's life.
Oh, there's doubt.
You know, and
Say it to anybody.
exactly, and it can be for you watching it. You just get back into it. And anyway, Eamon, can I thank you again on behalf of everybody who will watch this? You've just been brilliant, as I knew you would be.
It was no, I've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed it. I didn't think I was going to, but I really enjoyed it, and I'm glad and keep the faith.
Absolutely, I will do.
That's a big conversation we're going to have when
Over a
nobody's
couple of
listening.
pints.
When nobody's listening.
Yeah, I look forward to those 2 pints. Well, folks, thank you for tuning in, and we can look forward to the next one. And finally, thank you, Eamon Regan, for being a star and coming on and entertaining us all. Thank you now. Bye-bye, folks.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thanks very much, Jack. Thank you.
Bye-bye.